Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So guys, request you all to look at my screen very carefully next 15 minutes. So what I have got for you is one IP address, one virtual machines on AWS from AWS for master, one worker. We will add more worker based upon the need arises. Just take 2 minutes to add a worker manual way. If you automate this process, it will take 30 seconds actually. Okay. So first I am going to set up a master and then I will set up a worker and then I will set up a workstation. Okay, workstation. Now guys, here I am doing little bit of workaround. What workaround? So I'm workstation. What you need? Think simple. kubectl. And if I look at this kubectl, which is in the master, not only can be used by all other component to talk to API server, but I can also use it. Yeah, I can also use that kubectl to talk to master. So guys, here what I'm going to do is master plus workstation will become a same machine and worker will become a second machine. This is a workaround I'm doing just for easy learning process. Why we are making the workstation in the master itself? Because of ease of validating our work. You will understand that when you start doing the lab and demo and lab. Okay. So here please mind it here. Master and workstation is one machine in a same machine. Worker is in this another machine. Okay. Now the question is, where is a guide? Which steps I need to follow and all stuff like that. So for any guides as such, you need to come to DevOps School. Okay. And here you need to search for the one which you are looking for it. For example, Kubernetes cluster setup and all. But I will search for Kubedium. That will be more precise search because I'm setting up using Kubedium, right? Kubedium. So here there is a two article I can see setting up Kubernetes cluster using Kubedium manual way in RHEL, which I have. Ubuntu also I have. So I think this one I will go for it. Okay. So guys, if you want the step by step instructions, then you should follow this URL. I will follow in front of you. Okay. So if I look at this, what you have. So first of all, it talk about the Kubedium. Again, very simple, short information about a Kubedium. But if you really want to learn more about a Kubedium, please spend some time on this page. This page, because Kubedium is also a free software. Here you can file entire document. What is Kubedium? Why Kubedium? How to install Kubedium? How to create a cluster? What are the command line references? Everything you will get on this here. So more about it you will can learn from here. I told you, remember here, look at this here. Init for bootstrapping the control plane like a master. Join for worker node. Many commands are there, guys. More than 20-30 commands are there for Kubedium. 20 commands, I guess, 15 or 20. So you can learn more about it. If you are administrator of Kubernetes, this will help you. But right now, that's not my objective. And then after that, some of the prerequisite you should read it. Let me tell you here, always you should refer the official documents. Though I have written all these instructions here, best to refer official documents because there's so many changes has happened. So I do this training, and so I keep updating these pages often. But yeah, that is the thing. So if some other pages are there, if it is not getting updated, then it will get wrong information. So minimum 2 GB and 2 CPU needed, and some of the stuff. So I got 2 machines. Each one of these have a 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM. That is okay for this. Prerequisite is Docker, you know that. And I think these are the utility you need it in the each machines for getting the started. So I have already discussed these are the utility you need it. Okay. Apart from that, CNI also you need it. By the way, if you install the kubelet and kubectl, CNI will come along with it. Okay, so that's not a problem. So now here, if I see the documents, let's get into the document. Guys, see carefully. Here I have a heading called master setting up the Kubernetes control plane. Okay, so this step is for the control plane. So in this case, you will follow step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9, step 10. Over. Now here you have a section called workstation. So this step will help you to set up a workstation. So here set step 11, step 12. Workstation means, remember, workstation, kubectl, and 13. This 13 will help you to install pod networking. What pod networking? I hope you remember. Here I've been stating this proxy required the pod policy, pod networking driver and all. So one of the pod policy you needed, that is happening here. So right now I'm hard coding with the Weave right now, but you can install the Calico and many other things also. How to install the other command. Now here, this section talk about the worker, setting up Kubernetes worker. So mind it guys here very carefully. To set up a worker, you have to do 1 to 8. And the last command you have to do the join. And these are the command which you get it. See here, run following commands which we get it from the kubeadm init. So this command will get it from the kubeadm init, which you have to run it. So remember, you have to follow the 1 to 8. So if I see something here, except the join command, every worker node has to have a 1 to 8. 1 to 8, every worker node. Okay. So that way, if you want to automate all this stuff for the large set of machines, not 1 to, right now I'm doing manually, but if you want to automate, then which tool you can use, guys? Any idea which tool you can use?
Jenkins.
No. Jenkins is a CI tool, guys.
Terraform.
Terraform, yeah. Terraform, Ansible, Chef, Puppet. These are the tools you can learn. So any of the tools, so any of the tools if you want to learn, guys, here, YouTube, the DevOps school. So come here, any tool, let's say you want to learn Ansible or Terraform or any as such tool. So you can come here and here you can write Ansible. And all these tutorials, you can get it, learn from yourself, and then get started. Okay, so many tutorials you have it. Again, Terraform, all these are Terraform. So yeah, so if you really want to have automation in mind, then you can use. By the way, Jenkins videos are also there, but Jenkins is not for this use case. This is not good. It's a words tool for this scenario, automating the multi-node cluster. Okay, so guys, here,
Rajesh,
this is
sorry to interrupt. So there is another YouTube channel, SCM Galaxy, and this one. I just searched it. Is this the latest one, or SCM Galaxy is also?
No. SCM Galaxy is the old one. So till 2000, I mean, it's an old one. DevOps School is a new one.
Okay.
So I changed the domain name and then So SCM Galaxy, why it used to be SCM Galaxy? Because I started this practice in 2006. So at that time, DevOps was not a concept. At that time, we used to call SCM, Software Configuration Management guys, SCM guys, talk to SCM guys, CM guys, we used to call. Later on, we got started calling build and release. Then now we have come DevOps. I mean, from last 4-5 years, we are using DevOps. Now, after that, now we are talking about the DevSecOps and SRE. So terminologies are different. So actually, like that. Yeah. So guys, simple. I will follow the steps. Now, if I dive into the step, mind it, guys. These steps is designed for the virtual box. So this step, if I look at this, is for the virtual box. So I'm not having virtual box. I'm having EC2 instance. So I'll skip this step on step number 1. Step number 2, setting up the host name for the master server. Again, I skip it because here in EC2, anyways, I get a default host name. So I don't have to do that. In the EC2, we control the firewall through the security groups. So anyways, this is also not required. And in EC2, anyways, you have a swap disable. So you don't have to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to do that, but you will do that only if you're using virtual machines in your laptop or in your company organizations or something like that. It's not for the EC2. EC2 has all this setup already. Now, step number 5 onwards, I'll have to follow. So step number 5, if you see, install the Docker. Step number 6, install all these tools. And 7, permissive mode to SE Linux, because you have to talk to the kernel, right? So if you don't do this, it'll be difficult. And then install all these tools. Here you are adding repository actually, yum repo for all these tools. Here you're installing all the tools. And finally, this magical command you are running. Okay, that's all. So guys, here I will start doing it from the step number 4. So let me put it. I'll share with you the password and all. Just give me some time. And guys, request you to look at my screen very carefully, because you'll have to do in offline hours, not during the lab hours, because you'll be using my cluster. But in offline hours, you can do all these things, spend some time, and get a confidence of it. Those steps which I have written is well tested multiple times. So I have a limited doubt like it will not work for you. But again, if it's not working for you, you can leave that in the comment section. So I'll just check and then modify that with the error message. Okay, so username is CentOS and it'll become root. Simple. Okay, so from here I am started doing it. Install the Docker. So I think you know that how to install the Docker, same instruction which I followed first day. So I see the ETA is 3 minutes. I don't have a patience to wait. So I'll use the some other mirror. So I cancel that command, rerun that command, and it should be using some other mirror now. And done. Yes. Done. Installing this. Almost done, guys. Just give me a few minutes. This is repetitive. And now I'm starting enabling the Docker. And now here I'm starting the Docker. And now checking the which version I got it. I think 20x we'll get it. Yep. And Docker info to make sure that it's running. Great. Now guys, you know, just look at it very carefully. This is a one command basically. Okay, one command. So what this will do, if you look at this, they will add the one repo which is called kubernetes.repo, and this repo has all the tools like a kubectl, kubeadm, kubectl in one repo itself. So default repo is not having, so you have to run this command in one go. Done. After this, you have to set enforce 0 SE Linux permission mode, and this is one. But you know one thing, you have to run this command also. Sometime I have seen that it's not changed, so this command will make sure that's changed. Now after that, you have to install all these tools. And after that, you have to enable this kubelet. Remember, kubelet should be running, enabling the kubelet. And then finally, this magical command. You can directly run init. You don't need to run init, this add this stuff. But you know, sometime what happens, sometime because of some warning and all, it get failed. And I don't want the failure. I want to avoid the failure. So for that, I'm adding it just to be safer side. But you should try directly init, no problem. That's all. So did you find any difficulties setting up Kubernetes master using kubeadm manual way? Did you find difficulties? All of you?
So Rajesh, if we have already Docker installed directly, I can jump to step 6 and then start right from there.
No. Actually, what will happen? You need to clear your Docker basically. So there are instructions. What will happen? Uh, what will happen is Docker use the different driver, okay? And in the Kubernetes, so Docker use the different driver, so IP table get changed. Here, Kubernetes use the different driver, so table get changed. So there'll be conflicts. There's some error you will get it throughout the for IP table flushing and all. So there's certain error you get it, and if you search at devoschool.com that error blog site, you will get the solutions also. So, but yeah, I will show you one URL. In case of any failure, you can run those combination of commands to clean up your server and reinstall that stuff. So I'll talk about it. Okay.
Sure, thanks.
So guys, now if I see that, look at this here. Remember that you got lost at some places. So here I did the init, and see here very carefully. This is not a detailed log. You see here, they're checking Docker version and C groups. Here they're pulling all the required images. Here they are creating a configurations and stuff like that. Here they are creating a CA, certificate authority, means master will act like a CA. Here they are generating a certificate and validating a certificate. Okay. And here also continues here for C etcd API server, you know, SA, all this stuff. Here they are writing the configuration file, kubelet, controller manager, all these configuration files, they are writing it. So much of work is being done. You can do manually also. This is called hard way. Okay. If you do manually, then again it will take almost a day, but you will learn lots of things, trust me. And then starting the kubelet here, and the moment you start the kubelet, then this pod you see here, creating static pod manifest for this. Now what is a static pod What is the meaning of static pod? I would leave you up to you. This is one of the certification questions, and questions very often this question is been asked actually in the Kubernetes. I'll ask you to explore this. Then you see here, so lots of setup is being done. You can read this at a high level. Security is being set here at RBAC, role-based access control, node, boot, and all stuff like it's being done here. And finally, please read this statement. The Kubernetes, your Kubernetes control plane has initialized successfully. Done. It just took, I think, not more than 60 seconds. Just init. If you have all the prerequisites set up, most of the time what people do, they create a one image of it and then run it and then run init or join, whatever it is. Now guys, let me ask you one thing. If you do not copy this, you miss this, then you will have a hard time. Why? Because this is having some content which I need it for moving further. Yes, I will divide into this whole output. I will divide into 3 sections. This one section is to set up workstation. Yeah, read this, or these are Linux command only. You can understand this. This is for the workstation, and this is for pod networking driver or policies we can call it, and this is for K8s worker. So guys, these are the 3 code you have got it. You have to read it by line by line and understand that. Anyways, I'll explain you all this stuff one by one, but right now I have to do manually. I have to do in one go. So what this will do, this is done. Output, you got it like this. You store this stuff. So now set up a workstation. Setting up the workstation, what you have to do? Run this command. This command and this command is matching. What exactly is doing? Look at this here. Become a regular user. It's not necessarily. Why it's not necessarily, I'll explain you a little later, but it's a good to be a regular user and then run the command. Then create this directory, copy this admin.conf inside this location and give the permission. That's all. These are 3 things. What exactly this is, I'll explain you in some time. Just give me some time. Or if you want to set up a workstation in a ad hoc basis, then you can set this environment variable to this and it will start working. So this is the workstation setup. Now same thing I have also written. Run this command and verify whether your cluster is okay or not. So how do you verify? These are the 2 commands and you will get this output. Output also I have mentioned, so you'll not get confused. Okay. And after that, install Kubernetes pod networking. So before that, let me do this here. I'm running this command. Regular user, I'll become a regular user. So right now I'm in root, so exit it and then run this command. What is doing, why we are doing, I'll explain you. Just give me some time. Just let me complete this task, then I'll move into the next task. Now can we verify the cluster is running or not? Because remember, you have set up a workstation. This is a workstation setup. So the moment your workstation setup is done, you can send and you can run any command using kubectl. To see that here, kubectl. So here kubectl get nodes. If I do clear the screen, see here, got the master. See, this is the control plane, master, the name, host name. I could have changed the name, but I don't care right now. And this is the version of Kubernetes. Status is not ready. Why it's not ready? You can debug and then find out more information about what is not ready. But for the time being, let me tell you, you have not completed the step. See, it's not ready. So you have to install the Kubernetes pod networking. So what is the pod networking? So we are using VNet. The same instruction, if you look at this very carefully, they have here in a detailed manner. So now I've been telling you we have a multiple drivers. Remember, let me show you that part. See here, Qproxy need a driver or policies. Which policy? Multiple policies can be one of the policies can be, but out of multiple options. So one of the we are using VivNet. But if you go to this URL, look at this, read this, and spend this time here. If I go to that URL here, add-ons, and here you see networking and networking policy. So how many drivers they have? ACI you have, Calico you have, Canal you have, Cilium you have, CNI Genie you have, Contiv, Contrail, Flannel, Netter, Multus, Oven Kubernetes, Virtual Network, and VivNet. So many. Guys, let me tell you, this itself is a product in by nature, separate product. So I'm using VivNet. Now, if you really want to know VivNet in detail or Calico in detail and how networking, CNI concepts and all it works in the with the Kubernetes, how networking is implemented with the Kubernetes, lots of detailing if you want to do, then again you have to read through all these documents and just build this understanding. Okay, so that is because this those topics we are not covering as part of the session. Okay, so it's a different product altogether. See here, if you want to install GKE, KS, daemon set, all this thing, you can do that and get that. All this is a product itself, code and all you can find on the GitHub documents, which I can show you right now. Okay, by the way, in the production many people use the Calico. Okay, this is the BGP protocol and works with L2, L3 works with L3. Okay, so yeah, so this is the one. Many people also use Flannel. Flannel is also overlay. And for the demo, usually I use VivNet because it's easy for that. Installing is not very difficult, but you have to understand each product, how it works, what is the pros and cons and stuff like that. So you'll understand more better way. Again, if you're related to networking, guys, you'll understand all this concept easy way. Or you can have another session on that. I'll help you in that. So now here, pod networking. So for that, I have to come to my documentation. And here I am installing the pod networking. So guys, this is one command, don't mistake this one, pod networking. Here, kubectl command always using the from the workstation, remember. Now, if I run this command, guys, so many things has happened. Service account, cluster stole, cluster rule binding, RBAC, and many things has happened. What exactly those are, we will learn, but last day. But in one way, it got installed. Now, if I do the kube get nodes, see it's not ready. Don't worry, it will be ready. It takes some time. Don't. I should have mentioned some here. Wait for 30 seconds or 60 seconds. I will modify this. Wait for 30 seconds. So you should not get scared like, okay, it's not ready, still is not ready. Okay, so here let's run this kube get nodes. Now it's ready. So what has happened basically? So now let me show you here all the pod in the master. This command will show you all the pods. See here, look at it very carefully. I told you each master node you will get these 4 pod. So do we have? See here, API server pod, etcd pod, controller manager pod, scheduler pod, then proxy pod and networking pod. So proxy is here and VivNet is here. Now this is your discovery add-ons, actually DNS services. So this is for the discovery, which earlier we were using Kube DNS. Now we were migrated to the Core DNS. So these are discovery services. Again, Core DNS itself is in a product of So I'll limited things I'll touch upon this, but right now it's not a part of the topic. Okay, so these are the things. So guys, here you see, not ready to become a ready. And when you got ready, then your master and work setup is done. So now the last command which is pending for me, and that is worker. So this command is for the worker. So guys, did you understand so far how to set up a workstation, a master and workstation? Did you find any difficulties? All of you?
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
All of you. Guys, are you there?
Yeah, yes. Fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, in the worker, I will have a very limited discussion. So I'm going to run those commands blindly because I have already discussed so far. So this is my worker machine, guys. I will make this worker machine (14) bold. This is my worker machine. Okay, login as a CentOS, becoming root, and here what I've been asking for setup run 1 to 8. So as you know that step 1 is not required, 2 is not required, 3 is not required, 4 is not required, directly from 5. Okay, so here let's redo the things. I'm showing you manually, but it can be automated by Terraform, Ansible, Chef, Puppet. Many tools are there. Salt, CF engine. Okay, guys. Now enable the Docker. Start the Docker. Done. Now let's run this. Now let's run this. Now let's run this. Enable. Don't run this, guys, by mistake also, otherwise you'll set up one more master. So what do you have to do? See here, run 1 to 8 and then run the following command which you got it from the Kubedium unit. Which command? Don't run this command. This is the older command. Okay, here you run this command. Okay, this command. Okay, I'll make it small so it'll become a 1 line and done. Guys, this is your worker. So if you want to automate this process, you can use Ansible or Terraform. This node has joined the cluster. Remember, whenever you run the join command, what will happen? You know, they will request the, look at this very carefully. Now let me explain you this command. Do you remember the story of minion? Everyone?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Master.
Yeah. So here what happened? Worker using the Kubedium join, kubectl request to this API. This is the API server, okay? Address. So they request, okay, please make me as your slave worker. and then approval happen by API server. So you must be wondering, I did not approve anything. Why? So basically, this is a pre-approved token, which I get it while setting up the cluster. This token is valid for 24 hours, though the validity and all you can make it longer also, and you can create a new token also, no problem. So this token I got it from the master. Why? Remember init I did, so I got this command. So this token is valid for 24 hours. So as long as this token I am having, anyone who's having this token, he can request to become a worker. Simple. So it's like this. When you go to your office, then you wear a badge, and that has a pre-approved authentication to go inside office. But if I go to office, then I have to take a permission from the receptions. So it's like that. So here they are having pre-approved because of this token. So that way what happens, the moment you request the master API server with this token, so automatically you get a certificate. You don't have to approve it. It's a pre-approved thing. So here whenever you run, see here, certificate get issued, flight check happened, and then finally configuration is written here, and then started the kubelet, and then join the cluster. Okay, so this all this thing got automated of onboarding the worker to the master. Did you understand this command, all of you?
So it's the same command will be used for adding as many as nodes, right? Just to join that.
As many nodes, guys. If you have a prerequisite setup, then only this command you have to run in every nodes. That's all, nothing else. Remember, worker decide who should be the master. So here worker, you are running this command. This is your master. Oh, API server.
So Rajesh, how to get a new token if it expires?
So remember, everything is from the KubeADM. So KubeADM in the master, if you use, you can generate a new token. See here, KubeADM. This is the master. Remember it. Don't get confused. So I'll become a root to KubeADM. You can run as a root. See KubeADM, enter, and here you see token. So click here, KubeADM token, and see -h. See here, if you want to generate a token, see here, list the token, create a token, delete the token, generate a token, all these things. So right now I have one token, right? So list the token. Oh, sorry, spelling mistake. See here, this is the token I'm having right now. Match this, starting with WH, right? See here, and you can generate a new token actually. Token generate, and you got new token. You see here, this. Okay, you have to create a new token because generate will generate a token, and you have to use it immediately. So here, create token. So here you got this token, new token. I got it. This validity is also 24 hours. If you want to use a more validity, then you have to use TTYL option 365 days, whatever duration you want it, like this. Did you understand this?
Yep.
Okay guys, so now guys, what I did, I set up a cluster, I set up a worker, everything is done. Now only one task we have. Write your YAML file and know what to write in the YAML file. That's all, nothing else. That's all, nothing else. So now if I see from this is the master, guys, just give me a few seconds. So this is the master, and I'll become a non-root because remember I set up the workstation using CentOS. So if I see KubeADM, so kubectl get nodes, spelling mistake, kubectl get nodes. See here, this is ready, master. This is the worker ready. Can I get the pods? Get pods, all in namespace. I'll teach you what is the all namespace concept and all, one by one. Namespaces. See here. See here, you have a kube proxy. Why? Because there's a two node. I told you, remember, each node will have one proxy. Remember all the architecture. This is one proxy, and one node VivNet, one VivNet pod. So here you have a 2 proxy node pod, and here you have a 2 VivNet. Apart from that, these all are master component, and this 2 is a discovery component. Okay. So this is the Kubernetes cluster. I set it up successfully, and you have seen it. Any questions, any doubts, guys? Now
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.